Hello, we are live in studio with Trussell Media Studios with the incredible Troy Trussell. So Troy produces our podcast and he creates a lot of exceptional videos for other clients all throughout the Wichita area. So if you're interested in starting a podcast or if you're looking for some high quality branding video, then look no further. Troy is your guy. He definitely can make your brand come to life with some storytelling. My name is Sam Lucharini. I'm the host of our Wichita Real Producers Beyond the Pages podcast. And we are joined in studio today with Alyssa York of Meritrust and with realtor Katie Leiding of Coldwell Banker. So girls, thank you so much for joining me today. Today's topics are going to be a little bit about building relationships with agents, being mentored by a legend, a little bit of your nonprofit history, and a little bit of real estate and everything in between. So on that note, Alyssa, we want to start us off and tell us a little bit about yourself and why you invited Katie as your realtor guest.
Sure, yeah. I was born and raised in Salina, Kansas. Okay. I went to Kansas State University for a while, sang and danced there with K-State singers, and then transferred to Fort Hays State University. Okay. I have a degree in organizational leadership, which is very versatile. Yes. That led me down a path of all things marketing, event planning, recruiting. Yes. I don't want to be bored, so give me all the variety. I was an admissions counselor for Fort Hays State, and I recruited high school students in the Wichita area. Nice. And so that kind of led me here to test the waters of the city a little bit, and I could see myself living here, and that eventually led to a job here. Yeah. A couple years later, I found a job at RSCK.
That's right. So that's right.
Shout out.
You've been well within the real estate industry for a long time, doing great things.
Yeah. Yes. Shout out to my RSCK staff. Yes. They were so great. I was there for almost 6 years as the communications and events director. And that was so wonderful. And recently, in the last 7 months, I transferred to Meritrust Credit Union.
That's right.
I've known them for that whole 6 years. And so the transition has been really natural. Yeah. I'm so glad to be a part of the industry still and continue to build those relationships that I've had. That's and let's see, along that journey. So I don't believe in just like moving somewhere and just, you can't really be a part of the community unless you're giving back in your time, your talents, involved. Whatever. So I moved here not really knowing anybody. So I had to get involved. That's right. And with that, I got involved at Make-A-Wish, Kansas as a volunteer. Okay. I was recruited by a staff member, Katie. Okay. And so we met when I moved here 8 years ago. Okay. And with that, it was meant to be. A forever friendship because Katie moved around the nonprofit world a little bit, but here she is in the community, the real estate community again. And as I've been in the community for a long time, and so we are meant to be friends. And I'm so happy to support her.
I love that. I love that your guys' friendship was established before this relationship, right? Yeah. Before like the business relationship, because typically business, business partners, our preferred partners are, trying to always court agents and make relationships with them to potentially see some ROI. But you guys came in here with this friendship. So clearly it was a no-brainer on why you invited Miss Katie today.
Absolutely.
Okay. I like that. All right. Miss Katie. So then she kind of talked a little bit about your history in the nonprofits before coming into the real estate industry. So tell us a little bit about yourself, your history, and then what shifted for you to go into the real estate industry.
Okay, great. Well, I grew up here in Wichita and moved away, went to KU. I had a humanities degree, so very versatile.
Very broad, yes. Yeah.
But I love those broad liberal arts degrees. Yes. I had a great time. And then I worked in the nonprofit world, like Alyssa said. My mom was an educator, like an amazing educator. And so I grew up feeling like that was the model of how you become a great community member. Yeah. And I didn't have that education gene. So I kind of went into nonprofit fundraising as a way to try to do my part in the community. Yeah. But I was always passionate about real estate. When my husband was in the Army, I was a realtor when we moved around. And it was sort of always in the back of my head. So I did meet Alyssa when I was at Make-A-Wish, and then I went to the American Heart Association. Okay. But I was friends with Amelia Summerall, who's my boss now. And she was my realtor, and my husband and I buy investment properties. So we worked with her a lot. And we would periodically talk about me coming back into real estate. Mm-hmm. And then what happened, my dad one day kind of sat me down in the spring of 2019, and he was like, I just feel like you're missing your calling. And I feel like you're kind of misunderstanding what it means to be a helpful member of the community. When you help someone purchase a home or do something like that, you are helping them.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And when you have good values and you care more about them than yourself, that is a huge service to the community. Yes. And so we kind of had that conversation.
Wow,
it was sort of
kudos to Dad.
I know. Yeah. Well, it gets crazier. So it was sort of like rolling in the back of my mind. And then he passed away.
Oh, Katie,
and then
I'm sorry.
Amelia took me out to lunch 2 weeks later, and she said, this is going to sound crazy, but I think you should come work for me. And she said, and I never hire people. I've had a staff of 5 for the last 20 years. Like my skill set is in representing my clients. It's not in being an HR director. And that's something that Amelia is really good at, is like knowing her strengths.
Yeah.
But she said, but I just have this feeling that you and I could be a good team, and you could be like the final piece to my puzzle.
I feel like your dad was working through
that's
her.
what it felt like to me.
Without a doubt.
And so I was
Without
like,
a doubt.
I can't ignore this sign.
No. Yeah. That's the universe shaking you.
Exactly. And so it did feel like maybe I hadn't been fully fulfilled before, even though I love our nonprofit community, but there was something missing.
Yeah.
And this job, I feel like, does speak to my strengths more. And then, we still volunteer. We can still be involved in the community in those ways.
Yeah.
But I feel like I am living more my skill set in this career.
I love that. That is like a really beautiful story.
Thank you.
I like that. A lot of people just happen to go into real estate, or it was like a generational thing, or, like let's just give this a try because, it's on a whim, but yours was very intentional. That makes sense. And
At
kudos
least this
to
time
Amelia.
around.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It was setting you up for success. Thank you. That's very heartwarming. Miss Alyssa, let's talk about what your role is now with Meritrust, and what does a day in the life look like for you?
Yeah, so I am honored to support our loan officer team.
Yes.
We have 10 loan officers that I support. And
Some rock stars.
Yeah.
Yes.
By that, I mean, like, the life of a loan officer, they never know what they're dealing with. There's so many fires to put out. There's so much that they do.
God bless
day
them.
in and day out.
It's just as
lot.
challenging as being a real estate agent.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so they've hired me to focus on my strengths of that, what I mentioned earlier, that versatility of marketing, recruiting, event planning, a plethora of things.
Yeah, just loving on the agents, keeping Meritrust top of mind.
Absolutely. So yeah, a lot of back end, just trying to ensure that they're set up for success and representing ourselves well in the community. Good. And then just building those relationships, kind of matchmaking and saying, these are your strengths, your talents, your hobbies, whatever. And I think that you would get along great with this realtor.
That's right. So you really got to take some time and get to know each of those loan officers, it sounds like.
Absolutely.
That's cool.
Yeah. And
that had to have been fun.
It's so fun. It's so fun. You can say that you're a family at work, and I actually do feel it. I feel like we are a family.
Good. Yeah, and it is. It's important. We're spending more time usually with people in our workspace than we are with our humans at home. And so it is important for that to be balanced and to be fulfilling and to be functional and healthy. Yeah.
Absolutely. We recognize that you can do anything, but you can't do it all. And so we focus on all of our strengths, and that is very much appreciated there in the culture.
I love that. Yeah. It sounds like when I saw that you announced that on LinkedIn, first we saw that you were leaving, right? And so all of us are like eating popcorn and watching the Alyssa show. And like, oh my God, she's leaving RCA.
Stay tuned.
Right. And then you had made the announcement that you were going to Meritrust. I was like, that's a no-brainer. Like, that's a perfect fit.
Thank
it really
you.
was. I think everyone was just so excited. I think you got a lot of attention from those posts because people really love and respect you in the community, and it just made sense.
Thank you.
Yep,
I'm so glad to be a
good get by Meritrust.
Yeah,
yes,
absolutely.
Yeah. No,
smart
it was
hire.
Very smart hire on their part for sure.
you.
What is your 5-year goal with Meritrust here in Wichita?
Yeah, so we have been consistently one of the top lenders in the community.
Yep, top
and
credit union.
My goal is to continue to embrace that. For a long time there, people didn't even know that Meritrust offered mortgages, and we've grown, we've come a long way, and that can only improve. Further than mortgages, we are a full service financial institution, which means that we can offer so much to everybody.
Yeah, take care of all of their needs.
Yeah, we live and work in this community as well. As you've heard, we're very involved in the community, and we want everyone to experience that financial wellness, and we hope it's with us. So in the long term, I'd love to just increase that mindset and ensure that people know that we're here and we want them to be financially well in all aspects of their life.
Right. And that's a term that I think is still kind of burgeoning right now, that the financial wellness, right?
Yes.
You don't necessarily need to be wealthy. It's more about your cash flow and managing that cash flow every month. And that comes down to financial wellness if you're not stressed about everything. And so that's huge. You're hitting the root of the problem and redoing some of their bad habits. And that all can lead to a better community, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love that. Okay. What's an unusual habit or an absurd thing about you that we would find interesting or quirky?
My mom and I just discussed this recently.
Okay.
She said, wow, you're a little manic, aren't you? I clean a lot, right?
I'm sure your husband's very happy about that.
That's a handy one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good thing.
I clean a lot, and it's never ending, right? Like I can clean one room, and then a day later there's another room to clean. So I actually like cleaning for the most part. Okay. We don't have kiddos at our house, but my husband Tyler and we have a dog, a little 10-pound Chihuahua named Buddy, and he's our pride and joy, but oh my goodness, he sheds.
Is he messy? Oh yeah,
for such a
he's
little
a
dog.
rescue from Kansas Humane Society. Yes,
Good.
So cleaning is one of my hobbies, obsessions, everything. I love it and I hate it. So
that's right. Yeah, well, that's a good thing. All right, so Miss Katie, let's switch a little bit to you and let's talk about your industry and then the success. So we kind of talked about that you'd already dabbled in real estate, right? And that this clearly was very much a God thing. Like this was the universe was saying like, this is where you're meant to be. But talk to us about what a day in the life looks like for you and what is it like? I mean, I've personally done a deal with Amelia way back in the day when I was still doing real estate, and she's just one of our absolute gems.
Yeah.
For someone to be that high producing and that kind and that respectful and respected is almost unheard of.
Yeah.
So what is it like to just have access to someone like that? And what does a day in the life look like for you?
It honestly is a blessing. So one of the things that Amelia told me when I first started, it was that they share an office. The team of 6, including me, has one office.
Right.
And
it's
their
big,
guests
open.
are all together and we hear each other all day long. And I was like, that sounds awful, because I had always had my own office. I was like, maybe
and
to close
have
the door,
private
privacy. But what's really amazing about that is that it's like getting an MBA.
You're learning all the time.
All day long. And so we all are in the office by 8:30, 8 or 8:30 every day. And so, of course, like we leave to show, or if this afternoon my son has a field trip, so off I'll go to that. But in general, we're there all day in the office and problem solving together. Amelia, when she's having, a really complicated situation with a client, put it on speaker, and then we're helping at the same time. I mean, we are all in it together, and we all work together for our clients. We don't each have our own clients.
Nice.
So it's just such a different vibe. And so it really has been amazing. And that's one of the pieces of advice I would give agents who are starting is to go to the office. And you may not have Amelia, but if you're at my company, she always says to new agents, there's a table in here, bring your laptop and work all day in here.
Yep. Be a fly on the wall.
Be in here and learn, or if you're working on something, shout it out to the group.
Right.
But if you aren't at whatever company you're at, try to just be around some of those producers and some of those people who are doing incredible things, doing it well, and try to learn from them, because I will tell you, I learned more in 1 week on the A team than I learned in 3 years in Alabama when I was doing it.
Wow.
And I'm not joking.
I believe that.
I mean, just hearing it all day, seeing it in action,
incredible.
Seeing the work ethic, and just the way that this is all done. And when you talk about just her reputation in the community, one of the first lessons that she taught me was about how you treat other realtors, how you treat your lending partners, how you treat all of these people, because these are not your competitors. Another realtor is not your competition.
No.
They are your partner.
Yep. You've got to collaborate if you want to get to that closing table and still be friends and colleagues.
Yes, absolutely.
And she does. She walks that talk tremendously.
All the time. She said, one of the things she told me was, you do get your feelings hurt. If someone calls you instead of me to sell their house and we're both friends with them, of course that hurts your feelings, but you just have to feel like they know what's best for them. People know what's best for them. If they felt that was the best fit, that's what you want. You want them to go with who they feel is the best fit for you.
Yeah. You don't want them to operate out of guilt.
Absolutely. And so
it's a great way to look at it.
She really does walk that walk, and in the team, that's really the atmosphere. And so it's just been a really great learning experience. But I do think,
awesome.
Even if you don't get to work at Coldwell Banker with Amelia, get in the office, be around other people.
Yep.
Don't be afraid of, don't do it at home in your bed, at least the first few years, be there, be learning.
Yep. Because every transaction is different. There's so much to learn.
They are.
And then the industry is always changing. And so just that in itself is enough to say it's always changing. So you must be learning.
Yeah,
always
absolutely.
Okay. I love that. How would you describe our market today?
Oh, it's crazy still.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's, if you're a seller, it's phenomenal, but it's really, really hard for buyers. And it breaks my heart. I had a listing 2 weeks ago that had 9 offers, and the one that won was insane. And calling the backup that was also crazy and telling them they didn't get it. I mean, it feels like you're leaving someone at the altar. It really is heartbreaking. So it's really hard for buyers right now. And so it's still crazy.
Yeah. The nice thing though is that everything is cyclical, and a buyer's market always follows a seller's market.
Absolutely.
We just don't know the time frame on that.
Yeah.
And just going back to what you had already mentioned, that yes, the market is crazy. There's still a lot of low hanging fruit. Not as much as there was when interest rates were a third of what they are now, but those relationships and that respect and working with those colleagues who are not your competition, it's kind of like the rising tide elevates all ships, right?
Absolutely.
And that is the reputation of realtors, the reputation of Wichita real estate it's dependent upon everybody operating in a very professional manner. So
absolutely.
No matter what the market is, no matter how crazy it is, no matter whether it's buyers or sellers, it's important for people to be operating like that.
It is. And we try to give as much data as we can to the other agents. So in that situation,
so nice.
After, of course, it's like first it's a personal phone call to let them know, but then we followed up with, here's how many offers we had. Here's what kind of terms there were.
That is so
they could
beautiful.
share that with their buyers. And I did get a call back from one agent who said, thank you so much. We've lost 3 and we didn't realize the kind of things other people are putting in.
That's right. You're teaching
so
them.
You're helping. She's like, this is really helpful for me to share with my buyer because they can do some of these things.
Great for you. That's
so
great.
It is,
and you're teaching agents to do that. I bet that agent's going to start doing that now
and I
as
learned
well.
it from someone else.
That's
That's how it goes. So
that's why it's not a competition. Like everyone can operate. There's enough business for everybody if you're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that. Okay. So Miss Alyssa, talk to us a little bit about what you're doing outside of your work. What do you and Tyler like to do? Or what are some hobbies? Just who are you outside of this professional woman?
Yeah. Like I said earlier, I don't like to just move somewhere and I can't really call it home unless I'm like a part of the community.
Sure.
So as you know, Sam, I've been involved with Young Professionals of Wichita, W. I sit on the board there and volunteer with that quite a bit. I've volunteered in numerous of other organizations as well. Yeah. Neither my husband Tyler or I are from here, and so we like to kind of be tourists in our own city.
I love that.
There's so much to offer
so much
here.
Yes.
If you're bored, I'm sorry. Like there's no way you could be bored.
For the people that say that there's nothing to do in Wichita, they're not trying. They're not getting out of their house.
To do.
Yep.
Yes, we love it. We love going to the zoo. Topgolf is a new favorite of ours.
Yes.
There's always friends to be made and things to do with friends, new restaurants to see and do.
Things on the weekends.
Absolutely. So all that to say, we love being tourists in our own town. We love traveling as well. One of our goals together is to go to all 50 states together. Okay. We're well over halfway.
Oh, that's amazing.
We've been married 4 years and we're over halfway. So
good for you. So you're very busy traveling.
We love it. Okay. There's so much beauty to see in our nation. It's wonderful.
There is. What are some places you might go this summer? Because summer's usually a pretty busy time to travel.
Yeah, I don't think we have any new states on our list. Okay. We enjoy going to Table Rock Lake.
Yeah.
I guess a bucket list item of mine, I'm going to a concert at Red Rocks in Colorado.
Yes.
If you haven't done that yet, you should check it out. Yes. I'm really excited for that.
I bet. Very cool. Okay. I like that. Miss Katie, what do you guys do in your free time? Tell me a little bit about who you are outside of real estate.
Yeah. Well, I have an 8-year-old and a 4-year-old sons. Okay. So they keep us pretty busy. Our weekends are, T-ball and soccer and birthday parties and all those things. A lot of that.
Busy season,
which we love. And then we like to go out to dinner. We like to hang out with friends.
Yes.
This afternoon I'm going to Botanica on a field trip with my son.
Oh, fun. Such a gem in our city.
It's gorgeous. And what a beautiful day to do it. It's like 60s.
It's the perfect day.
It's the perfect day. And then I love to volunteer. I still have that nonprofit bug. So I like to help with the Heart Association still and my son's school collegiate. Junior league, things like that. That really fills my bucket.
Yes. And so you brought up a great point. I know you're very active in junior leagues. Yeah. So for those that maybe don't know, you would give a little synopsis on what it is and how you serve and why you serve, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So Junior League of Wichita is a group of women. It's essentially like a training organization. So women join it and they spend the first year just learning a lot about our community. They go out and tour nonprofits that Junior League has helped fund over the years. It's almost 100 years old here in Wichita. Wow. A volunteer leadership program.
That's incredible.
It's celebrating 100 years in 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Very cool.
Exactly. But
I know that the WEBA is close to being 100 years old as well.
Oh, wow.
So that's
a lot of exciting things happened in the 1920s.
A lot of centenarian things coming up.
And so then after that, each year you have a different leadership placement. And so you might say like, I want to learn how to be a fundraiser. I want to learn that skill so I can help the community. And so you can have a placement doing something with fundraising.
That is
You might
cool.
say, I want to learn more about marketing. So you might go do something in marketing. Or I want to learn, there's people who, a friend of mine, Christina, wanted to get better at like writing, and she was a good writer, but like writing like reporting style. And so she went involved in the newsletter. You can pick things that you want to learn, and then they train you over the next year how to do that.
See, I didn't even know that.
Cool.
And I've been here my whole life, and I didn't know that specific thing about Junior League.
What's so fun about it. So yes, you're
cool.
volunteering, but they place you each year in something that helps you grow. And then there might be a year where you're really busy and you're like, I don't have time to learn a new skill this year, but let me give a skill I already know how to do and do X. And so you have those opportunities too. And then through our fundraisers, we fund different things in the community. So our issue area is empowering women to be safe, smart, and successful here in Wichita. And so we're working with different nonprofits to help them do that. And that's what we do with the money that we raise throughout the year.
That's smart.
So the last few years, I've been on the committee that gets to give that money away. I don't know how I got that lucky. Like, it's amazing.
That's got to be so fun.
So much fun. And especially coming at it from a fundraising background, because people would always say, oh, but it's so hard. It is not so hard. Like, it is so fun. Yes, you have to say no sometimes, but you've got clear guidelines. You know what your members are excited about. And then it's so much fun to go and deliver those checks and make a difference. And
everyone gets excited when they see a big check.
A big check is so fun. And so just to see that come to life. So it's been one of the most enriching volunteer experiences, because they don't just want you to help. They also want you to grow.
That is really, you're right.
Cool.
That's very different from most
unique.
others.
It's
I
unique.
just learned something. So I know that our viewers definitely probably learned something as well. Okay. All right. So what purchase, and this goes for both of you guys, what purchase of $100 or less has actually been really impactful, or something that's just been really helpful?
Yeah, for me, I would say, this is going to sound really cheesy.
No, I love these answers.
My W Young Professionals membership.
Yeah.
Because that led me to a friendship, and many of my friends here, again, I moved here, didn't really know anybody.
Yeah.
And then that friendship led me to meeting my husband, Tyler.
Oh, yes, absolutely. That's absolutely the most,
that was the best
spent money.
Money spent. Absolutely.
That's adorable.
Yes. Couldn't recommend it enough.
Okay. Well, I usually, my answer is that my Audible membership every month for $15, because I can always be reading while I'm getting ready or driving. So it's not corny at all. I think it's beautiful. And I think Tyler would agree that that's also
money well spent.
Yes, I know. Katie, what about you?
Okay. I hate to follow that up. Mine was going to be.
That's okay.
Mine is not that sweet. Mine is shipped. Just having my groceries delivered.
Oh, yes.
That's $35 I can spend a year. It's very convenient. Just ordered on my phone and it arrives.
Do you do that through Dillon's?
I do it through Target.
Target. Okay.
So,
yeah.
Yep.
Good for you.
Yeah.
It's smart.
I
See,
like
working
the
smarter, not
convenience.
harder.
Yes.
It is. I hate going to the grocery store.
I do too.
I really can't think of much more. Like, I'd rather clean my teenage son's toilet than go to the grocery store. I'm not kidding. And those of you that know me, that's true.
I literally would too. And it's so nice because I'm also not overbuying. I just buy what I need. When I go to the store,
you start browsing
in there. I don't know.
Yeah. So you're actually saving money.
I'm saving money. Exactly.
See? Yeah. The husbands should appreciate that.
Exactly.
What is, and this is for both of you, what is something that you've gotten really good at saying no to? I don't know, whoever wants to go. Do you have something? Okay.
For me, it's been hard, but saying no to some of those involvement opportunities in the community, honestly. Being involved, people get ear of that, and they want you to be involved
want more of you.
On their boards or their committees or whatnot. And it's truly an honor to be asked. And sometimes after much deliberation and discernment, you can decide what really fits into my passions and my
goals.
time and my family life and what fits that, because like you said with Shift, your time is limited,
so valuable.
And so absolutely, so it's hard, but a very, very professional and kind no thank you, not right now maybe, but in the future perhaps.
Good. Yes. And you're always just so sweet and so professional, so I know that no one can receive that in a negative way. All right, Katie, what do you think?
That's mine too.
Yes.
I think we do need so many volunteers in this community.
Yes.
And so if people are listening and they want to get involved, my gosh, we need you.
Yes. Where should they go, Katie?
Well, I think it depends on what their passion is. Okay. But if you, especially, a lot of realtors listen to this and have that skill set of being, fearless, being type A, being able to make asks. Every single nonprofit in town can use volunteers who can do that. Every single one. And so I think, if they need ideas, call me up. I would be happy to help. But so what I've started doing is, if someone asks me to help them with their fundraising, at some point people are going to block my number. There's only so many nonprofits I can ask for money on behalf of before you all start screening my calls.
Yes.
So I say to them, like, I'd be willing to sit down and do like a one-time kind of audit of what they've got, where their weaknesses are, and kind of give them some ideas. But I can't take on sharing another event or another
but
option.
you can
like
consult them.
I can, and
That's
I'm
beautiful.
happy to do
and that's
that.
still giving back. That is still helping them, because you might teach them something, a small tweak in their recipe that's going to be a game changer for them.
Yeah,
I love that.
But it's hard to say no, because they're all so amazing, and I want to do them all. But
you want to save our city. That's right.
If you stretch yourself too thin.
Yeah. Something that I've learned and that you recalled for me, just interviewing hundreds of realtors over the last 4 years. There's certainly a difference, right? There's people that treat things like a true profession, and there's a consummate professional, and there's those that are, maybe they can't devote a full-time effort to it, or maybe they don't want to, and that's okay. No judgment, right? Everything it all works out just fine. But what I've noticed, there's a lot of common denominators that I've noticed in realtors, successful, long-standing realtors over the years. And one of those is you guys can't really outmarket one another. Now I say that as a caveat because I've seen the billboards, right? I've seen when there's billboards or there's yard signs, or there's good social media, I get that. But what I'm getting at more is that you can out network one another, right? And so one thing that I've noticed about some of these professionals is that they are involved in some things, right? Amelia, other people, you name it, guys, girls. And the more involved they are, the more your sphere grows. Just like you said, like you love this city now because of your people, your relationships, your involvement in the community. And so I think that that's an excellent thing, right? I mean, yes, you're volunteering because it's the right thing to do and you want to give back, but really there's some reciprocity there. You're going to be gaining more of a sphere of influence. So it's reciprocal. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think that that's important for realtors. So if realtors want to grow their sphere, they're new or they're young or they're hungry or they've got too much time on their hands, go be productive with your time and call Katie or Alyssa and they'll let you know where
we will help.
Yes, we will. Or get a hold of me and I'll get you to those girls.
And you make great lifelong friendships doing it. And then
that's right. Or you buy a membership and you meet your husband, which you guys don't need to do. But that also, it's better than meeting them at a bar. So there's that. Yeah. Or an app, whatever. Yeah. No judgment. All right, girls, we are going to wrap up here with a quick round of Would You Rather questions.
Ooh, fun.
And so it's all hypothetical, but it is fun when you give your justification for why, right? We get to know a little bit more about you. So would you rather be covered in fur or scales?
Fur.
Okay.
Same.
Okay. Go to jail for a life or lose a year off of your life?
Probably jail for a life.
Yes.
I feel like you just would have almost like a different break of life and have time to reflect and plan ahead. And
you would be eating a lot of cans of tuna. You'd be doing a lot of push-ups and pull-ups. Yeah,
you might get stronger.
That's right. Yeah.
I'm going to deviate. I would lose a year. I think it'd be so traumatic. I think it'd be too much I think that'd be a really hard life.
Yeah. That would be hard. You'd have to get very used to being alone.
Yeah.
Really get to know yourself. Would you rather spend the rest of your life on a sailboat as your home or in an RV?
RV.
Yeah, that makes sense because you could really go.
I would want to continue to see the nation.
Yes.
It's so
well,
beautiful.
after that year, then maybe you go do the sailboat because there's a lot more docks than there are states.
That's true.
That's true. That's okay.
Good point.
That's what I see. That's why
that.
we talk through these things.
Like that.
Yeah. Katie, what would you choose?
I'm RV. I get motion sickness in boats. So I got to be in an RV.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think eventually you'd quit chumming the water. Eventually you'd
That's
the
true.
body
Eventually I'd be one with the
be a long year.
That would be a long year. Yeah. It's a different way to lose some weight. Would you rather go back in time or tell the future?
I would tell the future.
Okay.
Yeah. I would. I don't want to change the past because you just never know where that could end up.
That's right. All the things that we've done, the people we've met, the pain we've experienced.
If I could see what's ahead, then maybe I would know the action steps that I would need to get to that point.
To prepare. Yeah. Yeah. You could predict interest rates. So that'd
be nice.
Yeah. Build a new home or live in a 100-year-old home?
New home for me.
Yes.
New home.
Yep. Okay. I think we're all in agreement there. Cats or dogs?
Cats. Cat named Puppy.
Yes, you do.
Yeah.
Your cat's name is Puppy.
Cat's name is Puppy. Yep.
Okay. I see. I always learn something and I love that. I think that's my favorite thing about you right now.
It was a great idea when I was young in my 20s. Now that I had kids, well, they get it now, but when they were toddlers, they would see other cats and be like, puppies. And I'm like, no, that's a cat. I've messed you up. I'm sorry. It's not your fault. It's mine.
That's literally adorable. I love that. Okay.
Alyssa, dogs, of course.
Yeah,
yes, we have Buddy, but he's such a teddy bear.
Little Buddy boy.
Yes. So cute. He's hardly a dog.
Do you take him everywhere because he's so small?
I try to. He is. Yes, he's very small. He's very well behaved.
Yes. And I feel like you can ask for forgiveness rather than permission because also you're so sweet and he's well behaved. So it's let's just try this out.
We try.
Put him in a little carrier and go to Target.
He has one.
Yeah, I'm sure he does. Okay. Would you rather lose the ability to read or the ability to write?
Right. I couldn't live without reading.
Okay.
I'm the opposite.
Okay.
I think I express myself so well through writing, sometimes more than speaking. So yeah.
That's interesting because I still feel like you do like communicate very well. But
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. So you guys learned something about
I
each other
know,
too.
exactly.
Yeah.
This is why we do this. I love it.
Fun.
This is fun.
Good. Well, on that high note, we're going to wrap it up. We're there for time. So thank you both. I know you're both very busy. Thank you for taking the time out of your schedule and being willing to come on the first podcast that you've experienced.
Podcast ever.
I know.
Newbies.
Check mark. We're good. Yes, I love that. All right, ladies. Well, as always, Wichita Real Producers thanks you. And we appreciate you listening and tuning in, whether that's on Apple or Spotify or YouTube. So be sure you subscribe. We will drop a new podcast every week. And that's a wrap. We'll see you later on Wichita Real Producers Beyond the Pages podcast.